JDF equipment contributed to the spread of bushfire in Irish Town, St. Andrew. Good evening and welcome to Primetime News on air and online at onespotmedia.com. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Special welcome as well to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands. Also this evening, slow and stressful. JTA concerned about pace of reconstruction activities of schools damaged by Hurricane Melissa. And a security guard killed in St. Mary crash. There's also sports and weather in this newscast, so stay with us. Details right after this break. Welcome back to Primetime News and a special welcome to viewers on onespotmedia.com as well as TVJ International in the Cayman Islands. As Jamaica continues to grapple with massive bushfires across the island, non-functional equipment at the Jamaica Defense Force JDF is making it harder for firefighters to do their job. The Jamaica Fire Brigade says the JDF was unable to douse the massive bushfire in Irish Town, St. Andrew, and that caused the fire to spread and threaten homes. The fire has been extinguished, but firefighters are battling a battle, or they're fighting a battle of another kind. Kirk Wright explains.
The fire was miles away in the hills of St. Andrew. From that vantage point, one could see the Hermitage Dam and its low water level. As the fire began to rage in the hills, the fire brigade responded. It was then that firefighters found out they could not access the fire based on the terrain. As is usually the case, the brigade's head, Commissioner Stuart Beckford, said they called on the Jamaica Defense Force for help, but was told they couldn't assist.
We theorize that it will have burned and get close to homes, and so we reached out to JDF. Regrettably, they were not able to assist us because their Bambi bucket system that they utilize to assist in dousing fires has not been working for the last 2 weeks. They're working assiduously based on information we have garnered from them.
That's bad news for the fire brigade, since there's a noticeable increase in bushfires for the month of August. Commissioner Beckford says St. Andrew and St. Catherine have recorded the most fires for the month.
Because the truth is, in the hills of St. Andrew, you are going to have a situation where fires are going to be inaccessible to our fire units, and as such, the situation there yesterday evening into night reflects that. We got the call at about 9:30 PM that it was now spreading, coming closer to houses and to the main road.
During our visit, we were able to see the vast area ravaged by the fire.
So maybe the most obvious sign that the fire here was recent is the presence of this smoldering log still lying here on the side of the road leading to Irish Town.
The fire brigade says water restrictions due to the ongoing dry spell is now affecting their operations.
You turn up at an hydrant and there may be no water in that hydrant, and so sometimes we have to travel great distances to refill our tanks and to get back on location. And that sometimes allow a fire to grow in size, because a fire will grow and grow rapidly, especially where you have strong winds. And that is what we are experiencing now.
Commissioner Beckford says the fire brigade is not able to say how Saturday's fire in Irish Town began, but reminded the public to practice proper fire safety measures. Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
And over in Manchester, bushfires continue to push firefighters to the limit. They got over 50 bushfire calls in the first week of August alone. Ramarda Lyons reports.
Dry spell, bushfires, the two go hand in hand, and the Manchester Fire Department has been buckling under the heat. In July 2026, the department received 157 calls. 113 were for bushfires, and for the first week of August, over 50. This is the acting district officer for fire prevention in Mandeville.
We'd have gotten 57 calls, and 37 of those calls would have occurred over a 2-day period between Saturday and Sunday. So our calls for bushfires are coming in rapidly, and we are trying our best to respond to them. That dry spell means for us, not just in Manchester, but island-wide, that we are in the bushfire season. And that means that this is one of the periods in the year when we get the largest volume of bushfire calls. And some persons might think that we get calls but not genuine fires.
So far, over 160 calls in under 2 months. Resources are under threat. Firefighters are stretched thin, and it's affecting their response.
We are doing our best with the resources that we have, but in the past week or 2 weeks, we would have had to send our units in for some repairs, as the pump, possibly because of the constant use, developed some mechanical issues, and so we had to utilize our water tender, which is what we call a water truck, and along with our utility vehicle, which is our fire pickup, to respond to emergencies while the unit was out for repairs.
When this happens, properties and lives are at stake.
That, as you can see, put some pressure on us because we don't have all the equipment readily available. But as firefighters, we try our best to utilize whatever resources and get the best done while we seek to continue in fulfilling our aim and our motto of saving lives and protecting property.
As the island battles an intense drought, Mr. Bramwell is warning residents that their role in the fight is not just water conservation.
Because of how dry this season is, then we find that the rubbish, the dry leaves, the bushes, they burn more readily. So not only is the time dry, but everyone can account for the excessive heat that is there.
As a result,
We want to say to the public that we have to be very, very cautious as to how we go about using fires to, for example, clear lands, burn garbage, and so forth. So many times, many of these fires start as a result of persons either clearing land or possibly burning rubbish, and some of them also occur as a result of persons who discard, for example, cigarette butts that were not extinguished before they were discarded. So we probably have fires like on road embankments and so forth.
Ramarda Lyons, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, the Manchester Fire Department says illegal electricity connections are jeopardizing safety operations across the parish.
Sometimes that too affect us. We probably go to a scene and we are putting out a fire, only thinking that we have made the proper disconnection from the GPS line, only to realize that there is an illegal connection somewhere else, which puts us as firefighters at high risk of being electrocuted. It varies based on communities, because as we go through the parish and at large Jamaica, you realize that certain communities are more prone to having illegal connections there.
With the new school year just weeks away, the JTA is again concerned about the slow pace of repairs to schools damaged by Hurricane Melissa. During an unannounced visit to Mannings High in Westmoreland last week, Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon said the repair work was not moving fast enough. The minister also told a back-to-school conference in Trelawney on Tuesday that she was not pleased with the general pace of reconstruction. In an interview with our news center, JTA President Mark Malaba reiterated that for the first few months, the association has been looking at badly damaged schools in Western Jamaica. He said the JTA wrote to the ministry in June highlighting problems linked to reconstruction and repairs.
When a team from the Jamaica Teachers Association visited in June, the latter part of June, we observed the very same thing. We visited a number of schools unannounced in the western part of the region, particularly St. James, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, and it was the same thing. Very little work was taking place on a number of the schools, and there were instances where we saw no contractor on site. There are instances where we saw only 2 personnel working, and just a basic skeletal staff essentially working on these sites. So it's nothing new.
More than 600 educational institutions were damaged during Hurricane Melissa. The JTA president said the ministry has not responded to the June 29 letter, which outlined the pending crisis for the start of the new school year.
We indicated that the conditions that we saw were really horrendous, and we asked the minister to look into it, and there were certain questions that we asked in the letter. To date, we still haven't gotten a response to that letter that we sent to the ministry, addressed to the minister, highlighting the concerns that we had when we visited the institutions, the western part of the region.
And the mayor of Savannah Lamar, Dan Reed Delancey, has also taken issue with the slow pace of reconstruction activities across schools in Westmoreland. He gave an example of what's taking place in sections of the Betheltown division.
For the schools up in my division, some of them we have seen where the old unusable structures have now been demolished, but not any real form of rebuilding has started as yet. And it is therefore disheartening. I can speak to school like the Betheltown Primary School. We see where the government built 3 temporary classrooms a few months ago, and the school was then promised that they will be getting permanent structures erected by in time for the start of the new school year in September. I was doubtful about that. I thought that maybe they would be able to come on stream somewhere around about October, November. But as I'm seeing it right now, no form of construction has started. Therefore, it will not be possible for this calendar year.
The mayor is anticipating that come September, schools in the parish will see a decline in enrollment.
Come September morning, I think some of the schools will be seeing low registration numbers because parents have not been able to come back to their homes because there is no shelter, and are therefore staying with relatives and friends and families in other places.
Meanwhile, the government has submitted an improved wage offer to teachers. The JTA president indicated that the improved offer addressed some of their concerns.
It is aligned with what we had discussed in the negotiation meeting. We continue to examine the offer. We certainly will be taking it to the annual conference on starting tomorrow, actually, and there will be discussions around the new offer amongst the teachers. With the teachers, and ultimately the delegates at annual conference will make a decision as to whether or not the Jamaica Teachers Association will accept the offer.
And it's time for a break. We have more local stories when we return. Welcome back, and we're continuing the news. A 39-year-old security guard is dead following a 3-vehicle collision along the Tower Isle Main Road in St. Mary's Saturday night. He has been identified as Stevie Smith of Epworth, St. Anne. Police say Smith was driving a Toyota Fielder towards Stewarttown shortly after 9 o'clock when his vehicle was reportedly hit by another motorist. That driver allegedly failed to stop and left the scene. The impact sent Smith's vehicle spinning into the path of a Mercedes-Benz and a Ford Ranger traveling along the roadway. Smith became trapped inside the Toyota Fielder and had to be cut free by firefighters. He was later pronounced dead. Other persons involved in the collision were injured and taken to hospital for treatment. The police are now seeking to identify and locate the driver who allegedly fled the scene after the initial impact. A senior citizen from Manchester is appealing to the Justice Ministry and other relevant authorities to help bring an end to what he describes as years of delays in a court case arising from a 2018 traffic incident. Carlton Robinson says the financial and emotional burden is now taking a toll. Sandy Williams reports.
For nearly 8 years, Carlton Robinson says he has been waiting for his day in court. The 71-year-old is facing a charge of dangerous and reckless driving following a truck crash in Westmoreland in November 2018. But Mr. Robinson says since the case started in January 2019, he has made countless trips to court, often only to be given another date.
I've been going to court is to give me another date to come back to court until I have another court date now for the 23rd of October this year, yeah? This year. And all is it going to court just to get another day. This thing now, you see, it draining me physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially.
The case was originally heard in Savannah, Lamar, but following damage to the courthouse by Hurricane Melissa, the case was later transferred to the Hanover Parish Court. Mr. Robinson says the change of venue has only added to the cost and difficulty of attending court.
Before the fare increase, it was roughly $6,000 to go and come. But now that the fare increase, you know, it might be run up to $8,000-9,000. Yes, to go and come. Because remember, I tell you I have to change so many taxis. Yes, and each taxi maybe some of them put on $50. And so increase the fare.
Mr. Robinson says he has already been to court 3 times this year, with another date set for October 23. He says the continued delays are especially difficult at his age, as he depended on his trucks to support 3 children through university.
Remember, I'm 71 plus, way up to 72. And if them can't fix a date and say, okay, Mr. Robinson, come to court on this day. And then now, you start to do a procedure. But if you just call me and say, come back, that make no sense. It drain me all over.
When contacted, his lawyer declined to comment publicly on the case. Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
And it's time for another break. When we return, we have the business review and international stories. So please stay with us.